What's going on, brother? How are you?
Good, mate. How are you?
I am great. You in the UK?
I am.
You are. Dude, it's been such a long time. It's so good to see you. I wish we were doing this in San Diego. Right? Ugh. So
Hair done, you know?
I'll let you fix your hair. No worries. Are you at your spot? Is that where you grew up? Or no?
Not technically, but you can see it's very lovely.
It is. I love that. And I want to talk to you about the new record, of course. But real quick, first of all, I love the pop vinyl.
Yes, mate.
So good. Unfortunately, I hadn't got it in the mail yet. Before the last time I saw you, you guys played Soma last time you were here, but we didn't get a chance to run into you. But just on when you played Observatory.
Yes.
Yeah, remember? And then the Funko guy was there. The pop vinyl guy. He's shooting that documentary. I remember.
Yeah, he's still going, mate.
Is he? Is he still doing it?
Yeah.
That's cool.
We've got loads of good footage, and like the EPK that's come out with Strange Days.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he put that together. He kind of left a bunch of cameras in the studio because he technically wasn't allowed, and then on the last day he came.
Oh.
So we accidentally dropped one of his cameras.
So all those interviews, is that what you're talking about? That video of you guys at the house?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I want to talk about the record, but real quick also, sorry, I'm gonna nerd out for the Strutters here for a second. What can you tell me about this? I haven't heard you ever talk about this record.
Well, I never get asked about it, really.
It's so good. I want to pull this out. Hold on.
Is there a picture of me in there?
There is. It's so good. Hold on.
Let me have a look. Oh my God. Memory.
Isn't that funny?
Do you know that band, right?
Uh-huh.
The Players. So the drummer played on I think he played on the Bad record by Michael Jackson.
Did he really?
Yeah. And they're all LA-based session players, but the bassist has this giant like Gandalf beard.
Yeah.
And like they're all really legendary. And every now and then, like I watch a lot of like music docs, and I can't remember who he was playing for, but could have been someone like Bob Dylan.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, I mean, like all of those musicians, they get around, and they're pretty legendary. So it was great. But I mean, yeah, I did that album in 2014.
I think it came out in 2014. But it's funny because I don't even know how I stumbled upon the fact that you were on it. Like, and this is about a year or so ago. And I'm like, what? There's no way this is the same Luke Spiller. So I go and found it on Spotify, and sure enough, it's your voice. And I'm like, whoa! Like, and it's an amazing record.
It's
and so
cool.
I ordered the vinyl, and I'm like, this is insane. And I'd never heard anybody ask you about it.
Yeah. So what happened was, I mean, just to put in perspective, the band was living in the band house in Derby. Mm-hmm. And we were really kind of, I don't know, we were between a rock and a hard place. The label that we were on didn't really know what to do with us. But one of the good things that they did was Mike Smith, who was the head of the label that we was on, recommended me for this job. And apparently Mike Oldfield wanted to make a record with multiple vocalists. So I ended up going to London to Battery Studios to meet a producer called Stephen Lipson. Really nice guy. And I ended up just sort of like cutting one song just to kind of like, test the water. Or the producer was anyway. So I sort of like did it and thought, you know, I did a good job. And then I get a phone call like a week later or so, and the producer says, hey, so I spoke to Mike. He really loves your vocal and he loves your voice, and I think he wants you to do the entire record. And I was
Wow.
like, oh, okay. Wow, brilliant. So I had a really good time. It was really nice. I would sort of get the train, and I would sort of stay in sort of like these little hotel rooms, and you know, just sort of like explore London a little bit during
Mhm.
the evenings. And I'd be there maybe two days at a time or so.
Mhm.
And yeah, over the span of about a month, I kind of just kept going down every few days, maybe once or twice a week. And the album was, funny enough, done remotely with Mike because he was living in the Bahamas. He's
Oh,
still,
interesting.
yeah, so it was a bit ahead of its time. And
Yeah, I was gonna say.
so yeah, it was towards the end, we were doing the record, and I would have Mike on a live feed looking at me in the vocal booth, and he had a way of like listening to what was happening in real time straight off the desk. So it was a
Wow.
really fun experience. And I ended up going to the Bahamas to sort of like do the visuals and the videos, which was a lot of fun. And yeah, I had a really great time, really good time.
Cool. So that was going on, and you guys hadn't came out to the States or anything yet with the Struts, had you? This is all
No,
before that all happened.
no, this is how poor we'd become. So I think I was given a generous, I can't remember how much it was, but I think I was given something like 17 or 20,000 pounds to do the album.
Oh, wow.
And I was highly advised to put that back into the band because we had no money and we were running out of rent. So I put that back into the group, and it kept a roof over our heads for about, you know, about half a year or so. And then, yeah, I eventually got the money back. And, and I spunked it all on a 1974 Mercedes Benz. And then, yeah, so I've got a nice car to show for that album.
There you go. There you go. That's cool. But that's crazy. So that was before you guys came here. So you put the money back in the band, and then because I met you and it was 2000, I think it was still 2014. Was it 2014 when you came out here
Yeah, I
the
think
first
it
time?
was 2015.
Oh, was it 2015?
Yeah, so we actually released our debut album like in the same year. And it's just really bizarre that you talk about it because we're now getting played on Radio 2 in the United Kingdom, which is arguably the biggest radio station in the United Kingdom.
Sure.
And I got record of the week with that
Really?
album, with the opening song Sailing. And yeah, it was A-listed and was the record of the week on Radio 2. And now you bring it up, and we've been B-listed at the moment, which is great. I think it's going to go to A with Strange
Wow.
Days. So yeah, it's full circle.
That is so cool. Amazing. I love the new record. It is, you know, of course, like another Struts banger album, but tell me about this album. I watched just the little 6-minute documentary. That's only part one. There's going to be 2 parts or multiple parts to the.
There's like one more section which talks about the making of Strange Days, the song,
Okay.
everything that kind of comes with that. But what basically happened was, we obviously, as the EPK shows, COVID kind of like started cancelling everything very shortly after our Tour de California run. And yeah, and then all of a sudden we were just stuck, you know, up shit's creek without a paddle, like everyone else in the music industry. And we started doing like Sunday service and quarantine radio. And
Yeah, I saw some of that. That was cool though.
yeah,
In the
thank you.
beginning, yeah.
It was good. And yeah, it was actually our managers. They were like, you know, we can carve out like 10 days and we're not going to tell anyone about it. Just kind of go in the studio and just do something, because this might go on for quite some time. And if it does, then it would be good to have sort of like something to put out. Or originally it was meant to be just an EP, like 3 songs, because normally we spend 3 days, 4 days on a song.
Wow.
So
and then 10 for a whole record.
Well, this is the funny thing. We went in there with such excitement and enthusiasm. After everything was set up and mic'd up, all the amps there, and it got the room sounding good, we had finished 10 songs in 7 days.
Oh my gosh.
And then I spent the last 3 singing them all.
Okay.
So it was just insane.
Oh my God. And then from what I gathered from watching that from the 6-minute clip, that was all recorded live too? Everything live?
Yeah, everything was done very old fashioned. We would sit around and literally kind of come up with an idea, musically, more or less, most of the time, like something guitar based, some sort of rhythm, and we would just kind of run with it. And then as the band were kind of figuring out what they were doing, I would then look through the lyrics that I'd been working on 2 weeks prior to the session. So I had a shit ton of ideas. It really helped, because for anyone out there who doesn't know anything about songwriting, it's kind of like the music can be very spontaneous and extremely easy, and what you end up spending most of your time on is the lyrical content, is the titles, is what you want to be saying. So I think the fact that we were so kind of prolific, in a sense, in such a short space of time, really comes down to a lot of the hard work that I'd put in 2 weeks before with the lyrical content and the subject matter. And Adam as well was also banking a lot of riffs before coming in. So for most of it, there was always somewhere musically that we were going to go afterwards. And I always had another idea lyrically up my sleeve. So it was just like, okay, that song's done. What are we going to do now? Okay, well, let's do and then everyone would be like, yeah, we haven't done that yet. So the album was kind of like written like one song after the next. And I think that's why, I don't know if you agree, but I think this album as a listening experience is our strongest yet, because it has an incredible flow to it.
Oh, right. Yeah.
From start to finish.
And I was going to ask if that's how it was written. Was that?
Almost.
Okay.
So Strange Days and Champagne were kind of like the last 2 songs to have been written.
Okay.
But All Dressed Up with Nowhere to Go, that was like the first idea we actually did.
Oh, interesting.
And that was followed by it was Hate How Much I Want You.
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of just went from there, really. I think Wild Child was after that, and then it just, and it's kind of more or less the order in which we did it. So
yeah, wow, that's incredible. And then tell me about getting like, Joe Elliott, and you have Albert Hammond Jr. on the record, and of course Robbie Williams in the title track. Like, how are you collaborating with these people, or were you just sending the tracks, or was it done like how we're Zooming like right now?
So what happened was, even before going in, I had sort of like given the lowdown to a few people, including Robbie and including Albert Hammond Jr. and definitely Joe and Phil from Def Leppard.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was just like I said, we had no idea what was going to happen. But I was like, I did say to all of them, hey, if we end up doing something, would you like to be on it? And everyone was like, yeah, just kind of send it through.
Mm-hmm.
So luckily, not only did we produce a fantastic record, but pretty good songs. So it was then just a case of figuring out like who was going to suit what. And it became very clear. Another hit of Showmanship is crying out for Albert to be on it. I intentionally wanted to have originally Joe and Phil from Def Leppard go on Do You Love Me, which is a Kiss cover, but Phil's first band was Girl, and we actually referenced the Girl version of Do You Love Me, which is a version I've been a fan of for about 6 months leading up to the sessions. And then they politely said like, nah, you know, we want something like fresh and original. I was like, all right, fair enough. I was like, hey, how much I want you, and gave that, and they were like, yes, this is so much better. And yeah, I'm really glad they did, because they just injected so much into that song. And Tom Morello was kind of more on the spot, because I mean we'd known him for well over a year or so now.
Yeah, he came out on stage with you guys at the Roxy and everything, right?
Was it the Roxy? No, it was in Nashville.
Oh, okay. I thought he came out at the Roxy when you guys did that, like, you did like 5 or 6 nights on Sunset Strip. He didn't come out then?
No, I don't think he did.
Oh, okay. Randy Jackson did. I remember that.
Yeah.
Okay.
We had a residency in Nashville for like 3 or 4 shows, and he came down.
Maybe that's where I saw it at. Okay.
Yeah.
I remember seeing something online.
Yeah. So that song, like as it was being done, you know, the Wild Child, when it goes like but everyone was kind of like, this is very Tom Morello. This is very Rage.
For sure.
Or Slavey. And I was like, I'm gonna shoot him a text, see what he says. And yeah, he was like, I'm so down. And he loved the song. And he was like, what do you want me to do? And I was like, whatever the fuck you want, just go for it.
Do whatever.
And he came back with this incredible like solo. It's just so like unexpected. It was great.
That's amazing. I know when I saw that you guys were doing this, and then like getting Tom Morello and, you know, Albert Hammond Jr. on the record and stuff, I was like, this is gonna be so good. And I love in the video how it shows, you know, from step 1 to you guys actually recording the record and you getting the blood test and the COVID test. I had to get a COVID test. My wife and she wasn't feeling good, so we just want to make sure for the kids. That is like, it hurts so much to get that thing done. Tell me about that.
It literally feels like it goes up about here.
Yes.
Straight past your eyes, straight past your eyebrows. But well, I mean, it was just kind of like a fact of, you know, kind of being responsible. I mean, at the time I was just like, everyone was like, yeah, I mean, is it right that we're going to do this? And I was like, man, fuck that. Like, let's just get in the studio. Like, yeah. Who cares? Like, and everyone's like, no, but we got to be responsible. So everyone was like, so our managers were like, look, we'll sort out a doctor. Then afterwards you quarantine, get the result, and then go straight from your houses to the studio. Don't go anywhere.
Okay.
So that's what happened. And then we ended up like staying at John's, the producers, for the whole 10 days. So we didn't leave. I think I took the bike out like once in when we had like a kind of a bit of a day off.
Sure.
But that was about it. Other than that, I technically didn't touch my feet to the ground anywhere else apart from his driveway.
Yeah. That's so crazy.
And at the odd traffic light. But it was really good, and it was really helpful because we were so immersed in the project. And it was something that we'd never done before. And there's definitely something to be said about when a band gets together and records in a residential studio, rather than like doing 2 days on, having a few days off. And, you know, if there is a rhythm to be had, or if there's a rhythm that you're experiencing, I think it's good to tend to just ride that out as long as it can. Because between 5 people, you get like a lot of energy and there's like a lot of ideas. So it was funny. Champagne was the last song to be finished. And then after that, everyone just kind of looked at each other and we were like, this is done. This is really good. And it's done. So Yeah.
So you knew when that track was done that there's no need to write it anymore. The record is
You
complete.
just know. You just
Yeah.
know. Like, I mean, to have like, we were doing like 2 songs a day, and then we did that like a few times in a row. Then I think everyone was a little bit tired, slightly fatigued.
Mm-hmm.
We decided to have the day off and just got pissed up and was in the pool all day. And then the next day we did 3 songs. So
Whoa.
yeah. So the day would normally work out like this. Like, I'd wake up about 7 a.m. and I'd sit and have like 2-3 cups of coffee,
Mm-hmm.
listening to what we were doing the night before, and I would be finishing up the lyrics. So then when the band kind of like rolled out of bed, you know, between 9:30 or so, we would all be in the studio in our pajamas about 10 a.m. and we were all like ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
So by 10:30, we would have a complete take, and I'd have my rough guide vocal, which I could still tweak, like with voice memos and stuff. So, and then once we got to Champagne, we kind of, that song took a little bit more TLC and attention. And we just knew, like, whatever it was that was being handed down to us had just come to an end. It was like, we were like, well, you know, the tap had kind of like switched itself off. And,
Sure.
yeah, it was a really cool feeling. It was great.
Well, you guys have been active in like going as far as touring since 2015, pretty much, right? Or maybe even before then. From when you came here to the States to now, I mean, it's been nonstop. Like, was that weird being like, now you're in one place for a long period of time, not having anywhere to go as far as touring?
At the beginning, it was kind of like, well, no one really knew what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
So we were kind of like, oh, we might be able to get to Japan.
Yeah.
Like, you know, no one quite really knew the extent in which sort of like the year was going to shut down.
Mm-hmm.
So when we were making the record, we still had like a lot of hope that, you know, we would probably be getting out by the end of the year. But honestly, I have enjoyed the time. It's been nice. It's been nice. And knowing I might be thinking differently, or I might have thought differently if we didn't have such a unique and incredible like album like sat there. You know, like it's kind of it's nice to know that we've kind of got that one, and we also have like a ton of material that we actually started working on in November, December, and January. So we've got a bunch more to go, but we wanted to put all that to one side to create like a record that captures a moment in time, and it has this kind of claustrophobic yet excited energy about it, which I think, you know, the album perfectly captures.
Have you had a chance, because I know you guys did like one of the drive-in shows, right? Or you've done at least one drive-in show. Two drive-in shows. Have, since the record's been done, did you get to play any of the songs, or was that like pretty much, aside from maybe Strange Days, like going in the studio for the 10 days, putting all those songs out, have you played a show since then?
We did 2 drive-in shows after the record had been finished.
Oh, okay.
Which was fun. It was better than doing nothing. And
did you get to test out any of the songs? Or
yeah, we did. We played Cool, and we played Strange Days, and another hit of Showmanship.
Oh, cool.
So it was fun. It was good. It was a good laugh.
Good laugh.
It was kind of funny because the first show, we didn't have like a PA on. It was just a stage sound, and everyone had to tune into their radio stations in their cars. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
Of course, everyone gets out of their fucking car, and it's like, oh, we're going to play a new song. So the next day, there's all of these videos being uploaded onto the Gram and YouTube and whatnot. And it sounds shit because what everyone's hearing, they're outside of their cars, and all they can hear is just my voice and a drum kit going, ga, 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 ga. So yeah, because I have the guitars quite low on stage, just a bit of bass and a bit of whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I was like, fuck's sake.
That's weird. Why wouldn't they just punch it out?
I don't know. I think it was noise restrictions or something. But the next show we did after that, we had the PA on and radio, I believe.
Okay. Where were those? Like what part of the country?
I was heavily medicated at the time. I honestly can't remember.
we'll cut that out.
I don't remember. You can keep that. I don't care.
That's funny. Oh man. Oh, dude. So then you went from LA and now you're back home.
Yeah. We had to come to the UK because we had this opportunity to perform Strange Days on UK television for an event called Soccer Aid, which is a bunch of celebrities getting together and playing football against like legends and people all around the world. And we were going to do the halftime performance. So we were like, kind of got to go. But our visa ran out in like June. And they said, you can stay here and work and we can extend it, but you can't leave the country. But we couldn't say no to this opportunity because it was so good. This was finally a chance for us to crack our home country. So yeah, we got on a plane and kind of threw the dice a bit, but it definitely landed on winning numbers because from that, we then, have a really strong relationship now with our UK label and Italy. It's just been kicking off and we did the performance and now we've got radio play in the UK for the very first time in our career. 3 albums deep.
Really? I know you told me about that. You kind of said that you guys weren't really embraced as much prior to coming to at least in the UK, which I always find is so weird.
It was a stroke of genius / fate where I'd met Robbie Williams via like FaceTime 2 weeks before going into the studio via quarantine radio. And it's basically required us having to get the biggest export from the UK since George Michael on a song for us to get radio play. But we've kicked the door down now. So
there you go.
We're here to stay now.
That's good. That's good. So the song they're playing is Strange Days?
Yeah, Strange Days. And it's doing really well. And in Italy, it's doing extremely well. So the Italians are eating it up. Like, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? What's the Italian ice cream?
Oh, gelato.
They're eating it up like gelato.
That's great though. What about when you tour there and even in the UK, do you not see as big of crowds as you do in the States?
Mate, it's insane. Last year, we played our first show in Italy to about 450, maybe 500 people, sold out, packed. And we came back again, it was 5,000.
Oh my God. That's amazing.
Maybe we're going to do an arena next time we go there. I don't know.
Yeah, hell yeah. That's awesome. And I know you guys jumped up here in San Diego. How did you feel about Soma? You can be honest, brutally honest.
I can't remember what it was like.
Oh, okay. Well,
what is it?
You go.
Oh, hold on. Yeah. You were saying
it's like a movie theater in San Diego.
I don't mind any theater. I think they're all great. I love theaters. I love the shape.
It's not a theater, I guess. It's not like a proper theater. It's like a giant square. You might not even see, it was so memorable. You don't even remember playing it.
Mate, I can't remember any shows. I'm going to look it up right now. Did you say it's the Soma?
It's called just Soma, S-O-M-A.
Soma.
It was the biggest room you guys played here in San Diego yet.
Oh, well, I mean, that sounds good.
Yeah, but it's not a cool...
It's not a cool venue. You just said that, and you're from there.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm not a huge fan of it, but hey.
No, I don't remember this. Like I said, I was heavily medicated. I can't remember anything for the last 12 months.
Yeah, it wasn't the House of Blues for sure.
Yes.
But
Which is a great venue.
yeah, the first time you guys came out here, House of Blues.
Yeah. Great gig. Great
Yeah.
gig. Always have fond memories of that show. Really
Yeah.
special.
So now you're out in the UK. What do you have going on? I mean, with the record, are you going to be able to? How are you going to perform it? Are you going to do like live stream type things, or you don't know?
We'll end up doing some sort of like pre-recorded show.
Okay.
So we're just kind of like putting that together, and I'm kind of getting back in the saddle and running a lot and kind of just getting show ready, because I got a little bit lazy. And like everyone has, no one's going to be coming out of this year the same.
Oh no.
So, and I think a lot of musicians have gone through the same thing as well. So we'll be putting something out for sure to celebrate the release of the record. Maybe, it could be in a month's time or so, but we will do something, and then we'll just kind of go from there, really. I mean, I know that people are trying to book us, and we're obviously saying yeah, but who knows?
Yeah, prior to COVID, were you guys on a tour, or were you getting? I'm sure there was like 10 booked with you guys. Were they headliners, or were you getting?
Yeah, we
any
were going to
good
be
opening ones.
We were going to be doing great festivals. We were going to be doing Japan. We were going to be doing really great stuff. Italy and probably Australia again. Just the usual whip round, the usual global whip round,
Yeah. Yeah, what a bummer, man. Well, at least you guys got an incredible record out of the whole thing.
Right? When life gives you lemons.
Sure.
Make a Struts album.
Well, thanks again, man. I want to ask you one more question. I know you've answered this before because you've been on here, but I want to know if you have any advice for aspiring artists. How about now in the time of COVID?
In the time of COVID, I would say get your head down and do some work, because if it kicks off, then you're not going to have a lot of time to sort of like sit and scratch your ass. So use the time productively and put in the groundwork, put in a solid foundation of just sort of dedication, and then the music will come fairly easy after that. So yeah, that's what I would say. Make the most of this quiet time. Prepare. Bringing it backward.